Yo, welcome back to another video. Peace be upon everybody. Yo, hope everybody been doing well. Yo, we just gonna hop straight into it. IEP, and what has it done for the Black community specifically? What did it do for the Black community specifically? Woo! All right, we're gonna hop straight into it. And what I'm gonna tell y'all, I thought I would never share to a camera in my life. I'm gonna be honest, because anytime this gets brought up, I would feel weird. Like y'all trying to say, like, I'm gonna just get into it. So boom, right? For all my people from Buffalo to Staten Island, Long Island, 5 boroughs, right? You already know how the New York apartments are, right? One, it was made in 1950, 62. They don't be keeping up with the complexes. 3, they doing renovations and they not really like telling you to keep your hands off certain things. They just doing it. Yeah, you can just tell they just want their money to go home, bro. Right? Long story short, they're doing paint jobs on the walls, right? With lead paint, right? I'm like 2-3 years old. I think this was a little bit before my brother was born. I'm a kid. Put my hands on the walls, put my fingers in my mouth, right? Why am I laughing at this? It's just like, yo, it's crazy. Crazy how, a law puts certain things, like a law does certain things for a reason, bro. And it's like, I would never understand. I used to question this, right? But we're going to we're going to keep going, though. Yo, long story short, I got diagnosed with lead poisoning. And lead poisoning, it definitely, especially when you're young, it reduces certain things. Like it helps, like it doesn't, what am I trying to say? It reduces comprehension, like, learning impairment, stuff like that. So in school, yeah, bro, they IEP'd me. Man. I ain't gonna lie. And look, I used to feel embarrassed to go to even the appointments. Like I remember like growing up from like 3rd grade to like middle school, like that's when they used to like in 3rd grade, that's when they first like try to like evaluate you or like do some like lab rat, right? They flipping the panel, they asking you what is this? Say for example it's a car. You would say a car, you flip the next one, oh if it's a duck, you would say it's a duck, right? Long story short, they said, oh nah, like he has a learning impairment. Nothing wrong with that, but they make it seem like you aren't capable of nothing. And this is what I'm going to get into. IEP stands for Individual Education Plan, right? I would say it hasn't really done any good for the Black community specifically because it makes you feel like you aren't capable. 1, 2, how even, your friends and family views you. They'll say certain things that you don't like, or they make it like literally the word I'm really aiming at is capability. What is the word I'm trying to use? They make it seem, it's another word for seem. Anyways, they make it seem like you aren't capable, right? So when it came to school, right, when it was time for that New York State test, my first name is Abdul Hakim. I said my first name. My last name is Abdul Hakim, so I'm always the first one, right? Okay, whoever's name I gotta call a step to the front of the class. Jasir. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Like, you feel me? I was thinking about the people, how the people would view me more than myself. I didn't for example, I always felt like I was not capable. Academic wise or even whatever wise, they just make it seem like you are slow. That's really the word. Like you have like such an issue to the point where you can't function in life. Like you can't do daily things. You feel what I'm saying? Without like an A being next to you or something. Like I don't have, like they making it seem like you are like a low functioning autistic person. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody has autism in a way. But anyways, I'm gonna just keep going. We're gonna keep it rolling, right? Boom. When it came to the schools, right? I would always have to be the first in the class. I remember this one made me realize, I'm like, damn, like, I ain't really the only one. So when I moved to Florida, and it was like my last year of high school, and I had to take like this I guess this one test that you need in order to graduate. I forgot, it was like a reading benchmark or something. And I had to go to the smaller class, right? My man's he walking with me, Aaron, right? I ain't heard from him in a minute. I'm gonna just say his name, Aaron, right? Me and my son Aaron, we walking together. He like, oh, where you going? Da da. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to like brush it off because I literally I didn't want anybody to know because of the fear of being judged by other people. You know what I'm saying? And he just sees that I'm walking towards, the smaller classroom. And he's like, hey, you got an IEP? I was like, yeah, he said me too. And he shook my hand. I was like, oh, snap. Like, I'm like, oh, then like as time went on, like, after graduation and stuff like that, I'm doing my research. A lot of black kids have an IEP. And it just seems like they just diagnose anybody with it. Like, no, like, nothing, like, you feel me? For example, like this, I'm hearing a lot of ADHD stuff. He doesn't have ADHD. He's just a boy. Like, you know how some girls go, oh, I'm just a girl, da, da. Like, because some boys can be, have a lot of energy and stuff like that. So, a teacher that's a woman doesn't know how to deal with him and he got to get checked out or whatever. She's like, insisting that, oh, I feel like he should get evaluated, da, 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 da. And it's like, nothing's wrong with him. He just has a lot of energy. He's a boy, right? So they, evaluate him in third grade, keep up with him from third grade to end of high school. And they put, that's the thing. That's the word I was saying. It makes it seem, no, Jasir, umbrella. Like, you got to hold this umbrella, and on the top of the umbrella, it has uncapable. And you just holding it, and it's a mindset thing. They're making it seem like you aren't. I'm holding the umbrella still. Anyways, they're making it seem like, bro, you're not worthy. You feel what I'm saying? And you this. Yeah, like especially in the black community, bro. It's ridiculous. Some family members find out you have an IEP, they definitely view you differently. That's just a fact. That's just a whole fact. What? I'm not gonna sit up here. What am I trying to say? I'm not gonna sit up here and act like some family members don't know. A lot of my family members knew what happened to me. I just never brought it up. For example, even with certain girls that I dealt with, I only told two girls, and that's how you knew. I really rock with you. I'm telling you, probably one of my deepest, what's the word? Deepest, probably insecurity. You feel me? So, but anytime, because a lot of people, when I would bring it up, oh, I got an IEP, da, 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 they went, number one, they didn't even believe me. Two, I just felt weird about it because it's just dang, bottom line, I had to stop, viewing the word, capable. No, Jasir. Your brain just processes things differently. And that's okay, bro. That's okay. But the IEP or the special education, whatever, they are a multi-million-dollar business off of just evaluating kids. And majority of those kids don't even have it. And a lot of times, I just felt different from my peers. Dang, I'm looking, for example, I would look, because I went to a middle school in the suburbs, right, of Rochester, Henrietta, right? A lot of them kids, white kids, right, they getting dropped off to school. They got honor roll, high honor roll. I never had high honor roll in my life. I was always a CB, early B's student. You feel what I'm saying? I was never academically there, respectfully. So I would see these kids, and I'm so I would compare myself to them. Yo, okay, this is the way you have to go. Nah, Jasir, this is not the way you have to go. And anybody who's watching this who knows anybody with an IEP, whatever, send us to them, bro, because they might understand. They'll understand where I'm coming from. You're just comparing yourself to everybody else. You're not even looking at yourself. I went to a middle school full of white kids, that literally cried if they got a B. I remembered. I'm like, bro, you got a B and you crying? His face red, glasses. He took his glasses off. He was crying. I'm like, wait, what? I brought a B. I'm going back home like, oh yeah, Umi. You feel me? I was a CD student. You feel what I'm saying? So, since I wasn't academically there, I felt like I was dumb. Literally, bro. And then they're putting this stuff in my ear about IEPs, and I'm always getting evaluated. Oh, I got to be in smaller classes for intensive reading. I got to be in smaller classes for social studies. I'm like, dang, I can't be like, yeah. So, as time went on, I just had to like embrace that. I'm like, nah, I said, you just process things differently, regardless. But you want to know what was so easy for me to like just catch and read the Quran? Crazy to say, but just like, like learning surahs growing up, like that was like simple for me. Then when it came to school, it was like we learning about Christopher, I'm just like, bro, I didn't want to hear it, bro, respectfully. But yeah, as time went on, I just had to embrace, what they call a flaw, right? In reality, it's a blessing. That's what I had to view it as. Because growing up, I'm going to be honest, and I feel like I'm sharing a lot. Like, this is a therapy session for me. Look, I thought, and y'all probably going to be like, Jasir, what? Bro, I thought, me having a learning impairment, I thought it was a curse from Allah. Look, I thought it was. Because I'm like, yo, like I told y'all before, I'm comparing myself to these kids. I'm like, dang, these kids is blessed. And I thought I was cursed. You see what I'm saying? This is what they put into your mind. This is what they feeding you. They making it seem like the word, the umbrella, right, capable. Right? When reality, just said, you capable of anything. Anybody who hasn't, you capable of anything, bro. It starts here. Just because you process things differently, like, come on. Like, for example, I need things like further explained to me, bro. For example, like when it comes to like instructions. Like I go deeper. Pause. But yeah, like y'all feel what I'm saying? Like explain further. I should have just said that. You feel me? Because these little kids on social media be trying to be funny nowadays. But nah, instruct me further on this. Like even when it comes to like certain hadiths that I'll see on social media, I'll look it up and I'll be like, nah, I need like the deeper meaning. That's why I'm grateful, Islamically for like the tafsirs and stuff like that. Because it's like, yo, like you need like a deeper explanation. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, bro. Moral of the story, I just feel like the IEP, the individual educational plan, it helped, but it put a stigma in your brain. What's the word? It just puts something in your brain that makes you just feel like, that. And imagine how many black kids feel the same way that I felt and never spoke up on nothing. Black girl and woman, right? Come on. But it's just, that's really what it is. I had to embrace my beauty. That's beauty. You feel me? That's my beauty. That's my story. I was going to say flaw again. You feel me? My brain is still feeling like it's a flaw. Respectfully. And I be having to tell myself this, my brother Josh said, it's not a flaw. You need to get out of that. It's not a flaw. That happened for a reason, right? Alhamdulillah, you didn't pass it. Nothing else happened. You still can function. You could drive. You could work, school, right? Whatever, right? You can, function on your day-to-day life, right? Like, moral of the story, this is what I'm trying to say. They try to stop you. Like, okay, you try to go somewhere. Oh, no, IEP. And it just stops you right there. Like, no, bro, I can get over this hurdle. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's really what it makes it seem like, bro. It just seems like a huge hurdle that you got to get over, bro. And a lot of people, they just stagnant with that IEP. I'm going to be honest. If Allah ever allows me to get married and have kids, bro, And if they gotta go to public school because of me and my wife's work schedule, because my plan, I'm gonna be honest, I want to homeschool my kids regardless. Because what they feed it, like I don't want my kids to be indoctrinated with, oh, Christopher Columbus was the first person, and um, white people were here first, and I don't want to, But if I ever get a phone call home, tell my phone saying, "Oh, we want your kid to get evaluated for this, and this," I'm gonna just hang up. Respectfully, bro, because if I don't see it, because I'm with this child every day. How you mean to tell me this is what it is? I'm with this child every day. How you mean to tell me that you only with him for 5 days, 8 hours, 5 days, 8 hours, right? And you just peeping at, oh, he needs an IEP. I'm with him 7 days. I can see it in him. And respectfully, some parents, they don't see it, but the teacher will insist and right? Whatever the case may be, bro. But nah, man, anybody who has an IEP, bro, you are capable of whatever, bro. I know some people with IEPs that they got they bachelors and they masters. You just gotta overcome, bro, because it's a lot of doubters. That's really what it is. It makes you doubt yourself. Capability and doubting, respectfully. To the point where you hearing the teachers, oh yeah, should we hold him back? We're getting held back. Yo, back in the days, yo, if you got held back, bro, they laughing at you, son. But a lot of people who I knew got left back due to attendance and stuff like that, right? But back home in New York, it was like, oh, nah, he got left back, da. Once I moved to the South, like hearing that somebody was 17 in 10th grade, that was normal. And I'm like, huh? You was born in 2000 and you're in 10th grade? No disrespect to anybody. Situations be situations, but where I'm from, like I told you, I'll be pointing at you. I'm saying the South educational system is trash. I remember middle school, we learning pre-algebra. My sister Jenna was learning ASL. This is all middle school upstate, right? They're setting you up for, even up north, the education system is trash, but at least the thing is they set you up more for like high school and college readiness. The South, nah, they don't. To an extent. The stuff I was learning when I was a freshman in high school, I will never forget it. I'm like, yo, I learned this in like 2015. I learned this in 7th grade. Why I gotta retake a pre-algebra class if I already did this in 7th grade? Right? I'm learning the same thing every year, it felt like. And I'm not even learning nothing. Respectfully. But nah, man, don't let these people feel like you aren't worthy, bro. And I'm going to say the word again, the C word, capable, bro, because you are capable of whatever, bro. I know people with IEPs that's living good, but they're not carrying that umbrella with them. And guess who gave me and you, whoever's watching that got IEP, this umbrella? People. There you go. You're not capable. You have a learning impairment, so you gotta, there's certain restrictions. And this is all I did for like majority of my life, just carrying this umbrella. So throughout my life, I had to do this. Shackles. It feels like you got shackles on you, right? Mental shackles, and you gotta just break them. Because you're capable, bro. Regardless, bro. But nah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Share it with whoever. Share it with a friend. These are really my thoughts on why I feel like the IEPs didn't really do much for the Black community. Respectfully, other than just try to continue to just keep us in this bubble, right? Respectfully, I know, but nah, man, share this with whoever, share with a friend. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Road to 500. I appreciate everybody who followed up and subbed up. Follow me on Instagram, same name, TikTok, I don't use Snapchat. Snapchat, King Jahseer. Twitter, same, my name. Every handle's the same. Facebook, same thing, And we out.
We're dealing with
Peace.
IEP. It's a trinity. You can't have one without the others. They are the IEP, a learning disability classification, and special education. If you mention any one of those, the other two are automatically present. Special education is a program that gives the child an IEP because they have a learning disability. No learning disability, no IEP. If you have an IEP, you're in special ed. They all go together. I say that because sometimes you'll hear parents say, my child has an IEP, but he's not in special ed. If he has an IEP, he's in special ed on paper. The school's getting money for his education. He may not be assigned to a self-contained classroom. He may still be in a regular class, but he's still a special ed student. They're still getting paid for him. Okay. Now, special ed comes to us 1975. Public Law 94-142, Federal Government Education for All Handicapped Children Act. The federal government in 75 said, if a child has a disability, they have a right to two things: an education that is free and appropriate, and they must get that education in the least restrictive environment. Let's talk about least restrictive environment. What does that mean? Let's go back to 1954. U.S. Supreme Court outlaws segregation based on race in school. 20 years later, we get special ed. Special education is still segregated education. I want to be clear. Special education is a form of segregated education, but you're not segregating based on race. You're segregating based on disability. For his own good, we're going to take him from the regular class, put him in a special class because he's retarded. For her own good, we're going to take her from the regular class, put her in a special class because she's reading disabled. For their own good,